Good evening, hello, and welcome to another edition of Nosh's Quest to Gold. Taken from the Silver Edition, we're going to be looking at a PvP game today against myself, Nosh, your blue Protoss player, spawning up at the top here on Antigua Shipyard. And my opponent is a red Protoss, his name is Exponential, spawning at the left-hand spawn on, of course, the same map. Now this map I'm showing you today is the first silver map, the first silver matchup, should I say, that I played when I started from Silver League. This is the first match I played after getting promoted, so I thought I'd show you that today. Now, currently, as I'm speaking, the season's been locked. There's no more promotions. I finished rank 24, rank 25 silver. I'm hoping to do obviously better. I'm hoping to reach gold and above once the season starts again. But I thought I'd cast another couple of my matches. I do have around 30 or 40 replays taken from my silver plays, so I'm going to cast another 5 or 10 of those perhaps, depending how long it takes for the season to come out and if any of them are actually worth casting. Now, as I'm sure you know if you've seen any of my other videos, that this is a PvP matchup, so naturally I'll be going for some sort of either defensive 3-gate robo, 4-gate, something like that, because basically PvP, you'll notice the majority of the time the other person, or the person who doesn't go for that, especially in a lower league, is likely to get themselves in a spot of bother. Now you can see I'm not paying too much attention to this probe. There you go. That's him sneaking back on in. I've realised that my opponent is in this base down here. I should probably have a look, see his gas timing, double check that he's not going to expand or do anything silly, and anything interesting early on, anything fishy early on. Back home myself, I do have my assimilator just coming through now. My gateway's almost finished as well, which is nice. Just a typical starting build. My opponent, again, he's going to be doing much of the same. You'll notice the production tabs are much in the same thing going on. A nice little place pylon here. I don't know, it's not like I'm going to be jumping Reapers up this drop here, but just in case I pop anything fishy through the smoke or, you know, anything else. You actually can see Exponential is doing a wee double check around the edges of his base up here with that probe I just highlighted to make sure that I've not gone out done anything strange. He's actually scouted the wrong direction. I mean, both of us went counterclockwise, but unfortunately for him, I'm the furthest possible place he could be, scouting in that direction. Now, thankfully for him, I'm not cannon rushing. Was I cannon rushing, I probably would be doing a whole lot better, because he wouldn't actually be aware of that right now. But, as I've said before in some of my previous casts, I like to try and play a proper game. I don't like to cheese, if I can help it. You know, I want to get better, and I don't think I'll ever get better as a player if I constantly do terribly cheesy builds. I mean, most of the time, unless it's going against Zerg and they drop Expo pretty early first, I won't actually go for a 4-gate all-in aggression. I'll usually try and get 3 gates, just maybe a robo or something else like that. Now, as you can see, eventually Exponential is going to make it up into my base. My poor little Zealot's not going to be able to, not going to be able to catch up with his probe, I was about to say, but see these little chunks of probe here, you'll see that, you know, I'm wrong. I've got my first couple of Zealots out. I'm getting my other gateway done. I've actually got Warp Gate just started. I'm actually behind Exponential in my Warp Gate research starting. I might have forgotten that though. He himself has got 2 assimilators up now and is mining out of both of them, collecting, harvesting, shall we say, out of both of them, getting quite a chunk of gas coming. Myself, I also have 2 assimilators, but I've not got this one. There's no harvesters on it, as you can see. As you can see, I've got my 2 gates to make a total of 3, and this probe here is about to drop down the robo and then get back onto the mineral line. There you go, that's me got the gas coming in to start a nice high gas intensive build. Back down here you can see Exponential has just dropped another 2 gates, that's his total of 3 gates at the moment, and he's sending out this stalker as well as a probe up into my base to drop a couple of proxy pylons. Now this pylon here that you see is actually going to be my pylon. I'm actually coming down to put a forward pylon. Let's have a wee vision check here. I'm coming down to put a forward pylon, and these 2 Zealots have noticed his probe sneaking on up the back, so we're going to take care of that pylon as well. My opponent's warp gate is just about to finish. He's got another 3 gateways coming through? Oh no, he's got 3 gateways coming through to make 4. He's going to go for his total of 4 gates. My robo is just about to finish. I don't think I've seen this pylon, but yeah, the vision of these guys, they are now just, you know, not going to attack at all. They're just going to run towards it and then move over here because I'm retarded. There's a pylon there, Nosh. Your probes are under attack as well. Yeah, stalkers up here. I'm just going to maybe try and poke back in, see exactly what was going on. But my opponent is warping his gates into warp gates. There you go. So I expect to see a nice little push coming in the next, say, 10 seconds. It's a little bit, you know, it's just not the perfect timed push. He's also starting a forge back at home. Here we go. There you go. 3 stalkers coming in, but unfortunately for him, he's met with quite heavy resistance. I myself, my robo finished up. I do have my observer out. I'm obviously boxed that with these units here. Make sure I'm blocking the ramp so that he can't get up, and then he's just going to run his 2 stalkers back home. I'm going to get another 3 warped in, and there we go. That says we're in a nice safe place. I also have my first Immortal coming out. He's being rallied down to my main army. Get rid of this pylon, and then hopefully get to send my observer, which you can see is hotkeyed onto 0. Somewhere out, let's actually see where my observer's off to go. Now, this is quite a typical start to a match. I would like to see myself now, with the army I have, pushed down, maybe just have a look in, get some counter aggression going, actually do something. Moving across, I don't know why I've pulled so far out with my observer into this part of the map here, why I didn't just fly straight on into the base. But either way, we're heading towards the front of my opponent's base, and we're going to have a look down here, see what's going on. We're actually going to be down in time to beat the foot on cannons going down. We'll actually have a look at the exact vision we're getting. We're seeing some cannons coming down. We're seeing that there's a forge, a bunch of cannons, a bunch of gateways, not much else. I would actually like to see myself park the probe, or at least have came down to check the expand. At the same time, I've just had a quick check up on my third to make sure there's no pylons. I mean, I personally put pylons on the third base when I'm spawning in, so I'm just checking to make sure there's no pylons kicking about. Make sure nothing fishy's going on. Yeah, little bulk of forces just sitting around not doing anything. This stage of the game, I think I've actually just decided I'm going to get, there you go, get my expansion up, get a couple of simulators up, get a couple of pylons up, you know, just get another base going, get another base ready. There's not going to be a lot of production going on. I'm going to get out another observer at the moment. That's what my robo is just popping out at the moment. Another observer down at the front of his base, just to make sure of his expand timing, to see if there's any pushes coming, things like that. As you can see, my opponent's actually got his forge out and has cannoned his base to high heavens, so there's not much chance of me being able to poke an observer through there. He's also, with his forge out now, he's getting his +1 weapons, which is also good to see. My expansion is a little bit ahead of his. He hasn't even started his yet. There is a kind of common rule where the first person to expand in a PvP is, you know, especially early game, especially in the low levels, is the first person who's going to end up in a slightly less off position. But nevertheless, having a look at the army supply, I'm actually very much winning that. Again, as I said, it would have been nice for me to run on in here, maybe attack some of these units. Because Exponential spent so much money cannoning up his base, I mean, if we actually have a quick look around, there's a couple down the front, 2, that makes 3, 4, there's another one here going 5, that's 6. 6 cannons, that's a lot of minerals spent just in static defense. If I had maybe came down with this army, which is starting to look quite sizable, I would have probably done a lot more damage. It would have been quite a good effort. There we go, my expand's finally up, starting to get that saturated, starting to get some probes mining away. That'll be very nice for my economy at the same time. My observers, one of them sitting over here. I'm not entirely sure where the other one is. I've got this pylon over here just in case any warp prisms or anything's coming over, just to make sure that nothing dodgy or nothing fishy is happening. Oh, there you go, there's my other observer. I did hear a cannon shooting off. So there you go. Good use of my minerals there, getting another observer out. Now Exponential is going and getting his Robo Bay out. His Weapons 1 is almost finished, and he's gone and dropped his expansion. Quite a fair bit behind mine. I've been mining off of my expansion for the first, like, say, minute or two. But again, it's not terrible. I mean, Exponential has no idea what I'm doing at all. If we'll have a quick look on the minimap, he knows I have this one pylon, but apart from that, he has no idea what's going on. I imagine he can have a, probably have a guess. He's also bringing in his Twilight Council. That's, I'm gonna guess up here. Yep, there we go. His Twilight Council up the top. I can't tell you straight away whether that is for +2 weapon upgrades, or whether that's going to be for maybe transition into Templars, probably Dark Templars, knowing the fact that this is a Silver League game. Now, if you have a look here, that is a lot of probes. There we go. You might want to transfer some of them on down, get them onto your expansion. There, but I myself, instead of going for Templar tech or DT tech, I've decided that I'm going to go for another couple of gateways now that I've got my expand up. Also, hidden up the back here, that's a forge. That's a Robo Bay, that's what I was looking for. There we go, I've got my Robo Bay coming on through. I'm going to move into Colossus. I've also got my forge out. I'd like to see me get my +1 upgrades, which will be quite a bit behind my opponent, but they'll help nonetheless if I can at least get them out. If you look at my army composition real quick, it's actually quite a good mix. There's a heavy lot of sentries in there, but it's nice to build up some energy in your sentries. Make sure you can get force fields in case your opponent's going charge lots or whatever else. Only a couple of immortals. I haven't seen a lot of stalkers or anything coming out of my opponent, and I do want to save, you know, most of my monies. My gas these days as well is going to be saved for Colossus. A couple of zealots, a couple of stalkers, mostly gateway units, as you can see at the moment, building up some energy on my sentries. And lo and behold, I've just spotted, on top of getting a pylon, no, on top of getting another Robo Bay, there's the Dark Shrine going down from Exponential, although it does look a little bit like he isn't entirely sure what tech he's going to go for. He does have a lot of Robo Bays, if we count them. 1, 2, 3 Robo Bays in total with his Robo Facilities, should I say, with his Robo Bay coming in, but he also has his Dark Shrine coming on through. I imagine with that, and apparently with also the shield upgrade that he's getting, and I'm getting +1 with the shield upgrade he's getting, I don't know, I'm probably going to guess he's going to drop me at some point over the next few moments, but we'll have to keep our eyes out for that. Not a lot to say. I mean, a lot of the time I've noticed after the initial sort of attack from both players, it's most likely you're going to see a sort of a sit back, and I would say a macro up, but it is bronze level play, so you can't really be expecting, you know, too much going on. I have just noticed I'm not gathering out of this second assimilator. I'm not entirely sure if maybe I've decided I don't need the gas, or if I'm just entirely unaware that I'm, you know, that I've not got that in. But there we go. Warping in another couple of units, warping in another couple of zealots. I would like to see me push in with this observer, that's the word. Again, I still don't know if he's taken any expansions. I don't know what's going on over here. Oh, yeah, there we go. My good friend Expo is making sure I don't have any sneaky hidden backdoor expansions, which is always good to say. Make sure you make the most of your scouting. He too has a ton of sentries with loads of energy. He can make sure there's no pushes coming on here, but as he should probably know, if I had blink stalkers, you know, some Colossus maybe, I could just walk through all this. Force fields are really not going to do a lot. It's only really charge lots, which is why I'm actually starting to research at the moment, that is going to make a big difference to that. Having a look, Exponential I think has decided he definitely wants Colossus. He's researching his thermal lance upgrade. It's actually quite far through. He's also starting charge himself. He's starting ground level 2. His shields are almost finished, and he's dropped down, as you can see, in his incredibly poorly laid out base. Another, is that 6 gateways? Another 6 gateways. Again, a quick look at the army supply will see that why I haven't just ran on down into his base and slaughtered him ridiculously. With lack of scouting, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know how much of an army he has, and I don't know, I guess if I've got this big an army, he could have an equally as big army, if not a larger army. Both of us rolling around the 1,500 mineral mark. I'm actually doing a little bit better with my spending, but not much better. I would like to see maybe putting down another Robo, maybe getting another extra Colossus now that I'm getting all the gas coming in. Gravitic boosters? Gravitic booster? What on earth is gravitic boosters? Where's the bay? What do you do? Movement speed of observers. That's interesting. Gotta get those observers in quickly. I've also got my Nexus coming on through here, which is about to be scouted by this observer. I've decided to drop down a third, and as I actually called earlier on, War Prisms are coming in from my opponent. So, not a terribly exciting game I'm actually casting at the moment. It's all going to come down to, I imagine, the one final engagement, which, to be honest, the fact I'm sort of getting closer and closer to the 200 mark should be not far from now. I imagine that this game could have been over in minutes, but that's besides the point. I'm getting quite a nice army. I'd like to see a little bit more on the upgrade front. I'm only sitting at weapons level 1. I am actually currently researching weapons level 2, but, you know, another forge wouldn't really hurt. It would be nice to see maybe another couple of upgrades here and there. Even shield, I mean, he's got more upgrades than me at the moment. Talking about upgrades coming through, you might have just noticed I'm chrono boosting out Hallucinate, which is, you know, always useful, but again, my money's getting nice and high. It would be interesting to see. Oh dear God, I just missed that entirely. It does look like a DT drop has came in and absolutely sacked out my Expo here. I'll be just pulling on through an observer, bringing it up here and making sure that I can kill all this stuff there. I'm going to lose a couple of pylons, but nothing terribly exciting. My observer's now over in the base, so I don't really see this lasting terribly long at all. Hallucinate's almost finished up for me. Blink is 3/4 the way done for my opponent. His armor level 1 is just finishing now. Pardon me, his armor level 1 is just finishing now. His blink has started, his shields are halfway done. Shields 2 are halfway done. It's a lot of idle probes for me. I would like to see them maybe start long distance mining from over here. It is still going to be more income. I do seem a little bit overzealous, should we say, with probes, but at the same time, we're currently having a probe battle anyway. We both seem to have quite a lot of idle probes. Again, now that I've lost this base, I mean, I didn't manage to take out the warp prism, did I? Did I? Warp prism. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I didn't manage to take out the warp prism. So I guess I am a little bit cautious of pushing out with my army. Or I'm just going to push out anyway. Forget that. Who cares? I don't care if he comes into my base. I'm almost 200 for 200. I could use another couple of pylons to actually be able to reach there. But almost 200 for 200, so I might as well, I don't know, get thermal lance down. Again, I would like to say my opponent seems to be doing much better than I am for upgrades. He's now bringing out 3 Colossus at a time. He's getting weapons level 3. He's almost finished shields level 2. I'm only getting thermal lance and my armor. I'm interested again to see why I haven't gone for more than 1 forge. Maybe get double upgrades, that'd be quite nice. I've noticed the warp prism going to come into my base, so I've made a couple of stalkers here. Probably nice to see a couple of stalkers up here as well. I'm also cannoning up, making sure that any DTs that are coming anywhere near the back of my base are going to be shooed away quite quickly. At the same time, as you can probably see, I am mobilizing my death ball down the front here. Now, in terms of upgrades, there is next to no chance I'm going to win these battles. Just double checking there's a third, but there isn't. In terms of upgrades, there's no chance I can win these battles, but the fact is, I have quite a large army. Fair enough, there's a lot of zealots just running into the fray. I would have liked to see some force fields from my opponent here. But a couple of guardian shields wouldn't go amiss. There's absolutely no guardian shields from me. Instead, I'm just going to mass double tap C and just get so many Colossus hallucinated. It's not even funny. So there we go, 104 million billion hallucinated Colossus coming on through here. Now that I've taken out some of the cannons, it's actually lagging my computer like a pure beast. As you can see, my opponent's actually done a DT drop, got a couple of DTs up in my base. I have actually warped in a group of stalkers to come in and get them, and there is an observer, there, so I will be able to deal with that. Back down here, me and my hallucinated team of Colossus are making light work of the base. We've actually got rid of the natural, and we should be pushing on up the ramp. We've also got an observer here, so there's no chance that anything terrible is going to happen when it comes to, more DTs being warped down the ramp. There we go, a push of million billion units just charging up the ramp there. It's actually not going to be much longer before this game ends. Thankfully for me, my opponent seemed to focus more on getting cannons down than building up his army, and my macro, even though it's not incredibly high, was at least fast enough to deal with his. Looking back at my base, as you can see, yeah, there was another couple of DTs being dropped in. He managed to take out like a gateway and other things, but it doesn't look like he was terribly focused on what was going on back home, purely because of this I don't want to say death ball, but pretty much this death ball here. So there you go, this was the first silver game I played. It's obviously off to a great start, playing it and winning. There's an awful lot of games I have that are around this kind of 25-30 minute mark where pretty much a similar sort of style happens. The reason I've been a little bit hesitant to post these games is purely because the amount of time it takes to record them, the lack of content during the middle of the game where both members of the game are macroing up, and just it takes forever to upload to YouTube. But there you go, there's a game for you today. I'm going to give you another one later on. I hope you enjoy the content. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys later on.